Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Play On. My name is Candace Barrett.
I'm Rob Mackay.
And this is Pearcey. I think it was last pod, maybe the pod before, I said rugby season doesn't start for me until April. I went and had a run on the weekend. How good's rugby?
Look at you. You're in Mudgee.
A little bit sunburned still. It was great. Get out amongst it. Footy's fun.
Anything to report?
I'm old. Footy was good.
Waddled around?
Had some great talent on show. I didn't hang around for the end because I had to get home to Bathurst to watch my beloved Penrith Panthers, who, whilst conceding their first 6 points of the season, did manage to score a fair few more. Nathan Cleary's got to be the most clinical footballer I've ever watched. He is a freak. Everyone else was dropping the ball. It was slippery as hell, but he just kept on keeping on. Mudgee 10s, no longer 7s.
Mudgee 10s.
Pre-season, no longer post-season. It was really good. Great to see some familiar faces,
so
and fair to say with the great and glorious Moons, I smelt him before I saw him.
How do you like your Bundy?
The Bundy
Any
rum
way you
is
like it?
alive and strong with that man. Moons, you're a legend. Keep going.
Absolutely.
I really enjoyed. I read touch for him late in the day, and he outlasted the Sydney Irish team.
Good for him.
That's
the
saying
Sydney
something.
Irish tapped out at
It's also
half
St.
time.
Patrick's Day today.
Yes,
so-
happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah,
To
so
the-
quite
Nippity
appropriate.
potatoes.
Well, I'm glad you got back on the field, Pearcey. I'm sorry I missed it. I would have liked to have gone, but I just couldn't make it work. So instead, I did a subbies trial here, which was interesting. It raised the question, which ground has the best food in Sydney? And I'm going to put it out there because
Ooh.
the Renegades do a really good brisket. It's a
Stop
24-hour
it.
smoker.
Delish.
It
Help me out.
was delicious.
I don't think I've heard of the Renegades before.
Well, and this is the thing. It was my first time at their ground, and I've been, I've done
Oh, so
the
been
occasional
around.
game over a few years.
You've been around the
So-
traps, Rob. In fact,
I
some
have
would
been
say
around
that
the
you're part
traps.
of the traps.
And this was a new trap, but not a trap for a new player. So the Rouse Hill Renegades hosted Camden and Blue Mountains in a trial. So
That is the points of the compass, isn't it?
yes, it is. It is. And it was good fun. The ground is a carpet. It's a shared ground with one of the NRL teams. So nice ground.
Nice and pretty.
But the
Rouse
Renegades,
Hill, which NRL team?
the Eels.
Ooh, nice.
Go figure. Yeah,
Well,
geographically.
barely. If there was
yeah.
relegation promotion, they probably wouldn't be there anymore.
Well, they're so bad they're not good enough to be relegated.
Yeah. Did you see that meme last year? There's 17 teams in the NRL, and it says it is too early to predict who's going to end up where on the ladder. Parramatta.
Yes, yes, it's a fight to the bottom. But yes, that's another whole story. So I'm just going to put it out there. Tell us which ground has the best food.
So the early clubhouse leader, brisket at the Renegades.
Rouse Hill Renegades. Shout out.
Look,
I'd say,
strong
yeah.
steak sanger at Mudgee as usual, and talk about carpet. Those fields. Mudgee, hats off.
It's a pretty.
Sensational venue.
Yay.
Yeah, nice.
If you could organise less kangaroos between here and there, I had full lock-up 5 times on my way over.
And you know what, Pearcey?
lock-up.
That was one of the small things I did consider in not going.
Yeah, the getting there.
Well, and Bellsliner Road as well.
Yeah.
Is it notorious for
Yeah,
kangaroo?
and I went through early in the morning. I've
being
got to come through to the
carp?
Big Smoke tomorrow, and I'm not looking forward to it because I think we mentioned last week the Great Western Highway is shut indefinitely. So my route to Sydney no longer exists. Yeah.
Might
Chris
be easier on
Mims.
the bike.
Be better.
Yeah.
Easier on the bike.
All right, just one
Love
more thing
it.
before we jump out. A big shout out to friend of the pod, Tyler, and her beau, Adam. A welcome to the world to
Little bug.
Matilda.
Hey, congratulations.
Yay.
That's exciting.
That's very exciting. So Matilda arrived a couple of weeks ago, a budding match official, if ever I saw one. So well done.
Can we say
And-
third generation match official? Yes.
Yeah, yes, we can.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
awesome.
Go.
At least
Welcome to the
third
world,
generation.
Matilda.
Yeah.
Cute. Very exciting news. Next, on to some rugby news. We didn't mention last week, but we just wanted to highlight how many ticket sales, for the Rugby World Cup. It was insane. And there's more to come in May. And what did we have? 2.5 million?
So there's gonna be-
million seats in
total?
total.
Yeah, there's going to be 2.5 million
Yeah.
in total. 750,000 have already been sold. There's a stage releasing of tickets. and there'll be tickets at all price points as the stages are released. So if you missed out in the first tranche, and that was, pretty chaotic as 750,000
Yep.
went in about 6 hours, there will be more opportunities. So make sure you got your application and registration up to date. Watch out for May, next window.
And get on board. Like some of the teams that are coming out here, we don't get to see this sort of stuff. It's awesome. And I love getting some of the neutral games and supporting Romania, supporting some of the lesser countries. It's great fun.
Yeah.
100%.
Agreed.
And there's a lot of action in the lesser countries. And we shouldn't say lesser countries, but the countries
Not
that
on the top.
Like
lower
Wales,
in the
we know what you
rankings.
mean.
Yeah. We'll come to that in a minute.
Yes.
But we digress. So, yes.
Well done, the Taffies.
Oh, that's harsh. That's very harsh. But, yeah, fair point.
I also saw this as well, guys, the MLR referee review system. I've been targeted to see Nigel Owens in a bath in his farm country promoting it, which is next level, by the way, everyone. Yeah, clearly he has a really good agent and is working outside his normal hours to promote rugby and match
I think it's great.
officiating.
And what a bastion of the game. I love watching a bit of Nige. I watched a reel with him telling story about his dad sitting next to the Prince of Wales. No idea.
Look, he's a great storyteller. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
He's born to it. I love the meme where they've got him in the bath and then we've got the who did it better, him or Margot Robbie.
And Margot Robbie is the answer to that question.
It's a rhetorical question. But, I mean, it actually flags something the MLR are doing, which is really interesting. It's quite innovative. It's
We're
targeted.
talking about it.
Yeah,
as well,
we're talking
firstly.
about it. They've really done a good job of magnifying with the socials and Nigel. So hats off to you. It's clearly targeted for the North American market because it's a structure and a system that they're used to. So they're calling it the referee review system. So under this, the on-field referee can request assistance, or a team may challenge a decision if it believes a clear or obvious infringement may have occurred.
Gee,
so does that sound like anything to you?
That's a Pandora's box. Do we throw down to do that? Do we throw down a flag?
Sounds like ice hockey and any other sport.
To your point, Pearcey, I think they may be getting flags to throw down. It was ambiguous, but I think that may happen. But
flag on the play.
Yeah, correct. So we've got elements of obviously NFL, but there's also elements of cricket. It's a lot like the review system in cricket. So in MLR, you get 2 reviews, and if you get the review right, you get to keep it. If you don't get it right, you lose it.
Do you know who this smacks of?
Can you go into the sin bin for requesting it and then getting it wrong?
Frivolous review. Oh, I like that. Do you know who this smacks of? This smacks of J-Mac.
Well, I'm intrigued. There's no doubt about that.
J-Mac, have you got your fingerprints all over this?
We might have to find that out firsthand shortly.
Calling him out, Jamie McGregor, reach out. We want you on the pod. Stat. We know you listen.
And
there you go.
They rolled out
you, Jamie.
Luke Rogan to comment on it. There's a distinct Aussie flavour to how this is working. Let's see how it goes. The TMO essentially is non-existent from what I can understand. There's a sideline operator who's rugby law trained, but they're not called a TMO. So the referee will run to them.
We need a good acronym.
Yeah, there's an acronym, but it's not a good one.
Let's come up with a better one.
Yeah.
Leave it with me. There's a chance that it may end up being the same sound as a dirty word. I'm famous for those acronyms.
It's the in-stadium replay operator, the ISRO. It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
ISRO. No, we can do better than that.
No, that sounds like a place that gets bombed. Too soon?
On other news.
In other news, over to you, Candace.
I was going to mention the game that happened with Gus, where it was Scotland versus France. There was a French player, Oscar, who was cited for eye gouging, and they've given him a 4-week ban, which I believe is the minimum. The very minimum that you would be able.
From what I'm reading, it was quite a tenuous grasp of whether it was an eye gouge, and they've erred on the side of just keep your fingers away from eyes, and I'm okay with that. It wasn't a good look. If you recall, we spoke of that too, and we saw the hands on the eyes, and we were all thinking, please don't bend the finger into the eyes. And I don't think he did, but it's also not a great look having fingers across eyes. So I'm okay with it. 4 weeks.
Yeah. And I guess in terms of what people have been chatting about online was that even in the real time in the game, is there a way that it could have been relooked at in the background, or is that something they needed a bit more time with after? Is my understanding.
And I'm a big believer in after, because that was grey. There's no room for wiggle. If it's found guilty, it's a big sentence. If it's found not guilty,
exactly.
it's clean. So that was a really tough one to do on the fly. And Gussie called that. We'll review that later. It was too grey to call live.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and I think they managed
if you
it well.
compare it to, was it Esbeth's one, where like, no, this is very clear, we need to stop play sort of thing.
We are giving you an 8-match ban live.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's I thought your head was a football as opposed to
as a volleyball. We're going to put two fingers in and get some Jason Del Monte spin on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think it was handled as well as it could be, given, as you say, Pearcey, the greyness, which I agree with, because it was sort of, it was dumb, and it could have been avoided, but it wasn't hospital causing. So
yeah. And I think the beauty of our game is we're getting less and less reason where it's okay to have your hands, arms, shoulders, etc. on the opposition's head, and that just makes it easier to manage as a referee. So that's good. Tell me about the doping scandal in Georgia. I haven't heard this one.
Yes. So Georgia rugby, there's about 6 players that are in a doping scandal. So my understanding is that
how many players does it require to call it a scandal? It's obviously clearly more than one.
It only requires
big
one
scandal
if it's someone's team other than yours. If it's your team, it's nothing to see here. So
good.
Yeah, so they've confirmed there's 6 players and 1 member of the support personnel from the Georgia men's senior national 15s team.
This dates back to 2023 World Cup. Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so what's really interesting about this, so a couple of things. Firstly, there's due process now, so there won't be much chat about it because they go through further investigation. Essentially, it's sub judice. So they've put the flag up saying, right, we're investigating this. Now they'll do the investigation, and then eventually, when they've gone through the different samples and process, they'll come up with a response and an outcome. In the meantime, we just keep stum. What is really interesting, though, is there's, I don't want to say aged urine, but they're keeping samples for a long time. So that
what you mean.
as the tech changes, you can go back and test and go, well, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
We've got this
the
new
world
tech.
anti-doping people will be able to like, oh, this drug wasn't da-da-da.
Yeah.
And rugby have done a great job
of
keeping rugby clean, I think was the tagline there back when I was reffing. In fact, I've got that on a ball here somewhere.
It's still floating around, Pearcey. You still see it? Yeah.
I see it ever so often on like a warm-up T-shirt or like the high beers. Yeah, keep rugby clean.
World Anti-Doping Agency, keep rugby clean.
Yeah.
I think that was...
What year is
that? That was 2010.
Yeah.
That's been a long
Still
time.
Still happening. Argentina.
It smells of Argentina.
Right, Merlot
some Malbec.
Malbec, yeah, okay. So Wada's onto that with World Rugby, so we'll let that run. But meanwhile, in other news, guess who Portugal just beat? In the final of...
Is this the European?
The Rugby 15 Men's Championship, 1917. Portugal just beat Georgia, yeah.
Oh.
For the first time in 8
That makes
things
so interesting.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
Is that the first time they've beaten one since the Hoff was there?
I'm just thinking of the really hot Portuguese captain, to be honest.
Which is not the Hoff.
You can't hot the Hoff.
Oh, lovely. Can we talk about Six Nations? Because that was an epic weekend on the end of an epic tournament. And hats off the men's Six Nation
as well.
Guinness 0.0, because we were live till the very last minute and beyond before we had a winner declared. That was absolutely sensational.
Yeah. I mean, the entire tournament rested on one kick.
Yep.
And he smashed it.
He smashed it off the boot, and he just basically gave the little finger wobble going, I know it's got about 4 seconds to fly, but I have absolutely snotted this. Wasn't there a lot to do in that game? Mika.
Yeah.
You had a lot to do, my friend.
Well, he made about 4 tackles for a start.
About to say for himself. Bless him. He's just like neck and neck with the locks, pretty much. I was just like, this is intense. So
that was amazing. 48, 46, is that right?
Yeah, sounds right.
Yes, because it was
Because it was 46,
46,
45 as the
45,
hooter,
and then
as the hooter
yeah,
sounded.
then there was the 3
So hold
point.
that thought.
Yeah.
We'll come to that in Stat Central.
There's a few things that popped out to me from when I watched when England scored and then they were converting. Then Smith's ball fell off the tee. And he had to do a
Yes.
beautiful drop kick.
Yes.
Yep.
That one was an interesting one because no one, as far as I could see, was like charging it.
Oh no, there was
down
someone
or
coming. There
anything.
was someone coming, but he
Was
was
there
also
someone was?
he was also very low on shot clock.
Okay.
I think he was.
'Cause-
Yeah.
He struck it with about a second and a half left of the shot clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just went right of the mark wherever his tee was, but yeah, it was in line.
He actually, the way it played out, I think I'm right in saying this. Some would argue that he took it off the mark, but the tee was in the way. You can't drop a ball on the tee, and I think the referee was just in his way if he had a step left.
I
It
see
felt
what
like he was a little bit crowded that way from memory. So, yeah,
Where
I'm okay with it. And he snotted it.
And he
Yeah.
did snot it, and the law's okay with it as well. So
Yeah.
if the ball falls over and rolls away from the line through the place where the try was awarded and the kicker then kicks the ball over the crossbar, the conversion is successful. So
Yeah.
all good.
Yeah,
Well
I
done
li- I
under
like it.
pressure.
We have a lot of Law of the Week contenders.
Do we what?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
put
So
one down
that's
as well.
not my Law of the Week.
For
Me either.
Stay tuned, guys, if you want to see which law of the week ends up being
Yeah,
chosen.
that's right. Well, we may have to have a dais for the law of the week. And in third place,
Yeah, exactly. To me, a big thing is obviously the ending, but is there anything you guys want to bring up before I talk about the ending of the
Louis
match?
Bibi, holy smokes.
Absolutely. And
Four
again,
tries and giving a couple away. Like, what a freak.
We'll get to him in Stat Central as well.
Stat Central.
His numbers, like, stay tuned. His
Where
numbers
do you
will blow
get
your
your
mind.
stats? Where do you get your stats, Rob? Is there a
He
special
records them
secret?
himself.
Some would
Is there
say
special site, or like how do you deal with it?
there is an extraction from certain orifices. Now, that would be unfair.
Pulls them from his bumhole.
I'll come to that, and I will give credit where credit is due. There are many and multiple sources.
Okay.
So, yes, hold that thought. Stat Central is coming up, and there's some doozies in there. Candace, to your point, something that still jumped out at me about the Six Nations, and England in particular, they still know how to slow down a game.
Oh,
And
don't get me.
we've seen it a couple of times with the blood bin. I'm sure if it was super, they would be off the field in no time. Meanwhile, the English trainers chatting, strapping, doing all this stuff. And sometimes the clock wasn't off and they were doing subs and they had injuries and the clock was still running. Guys, we've got to get better at that. If someone's going to take the piss like that, do not let them. It's not a good look. We can be better on that. It has clearly improved from where it was, but there's still some upside there to get that flow, because it's all very well to stop for a line out of a scrum, because that's definitely part of the game. But having someone take the mickey, no, I'm not into that. That's not
we
right.
even mentioned before about briefing and talking to them, so it'd be really interesting to see if they themselves have like spoken to like the technical zone area and to those people beforehand.
The English medical staff
Or they just don't
for
listen.
years have flaunted this. Our friend Walshy had huge run-ins with them back in the day, and he lost that argument every time. He ended up being suspended from that argument a couple of times. The English medical staff are arguably one of the most challenging in the game.
Yeah, but he was ahead of his time, Walshy, because he knew what was important. So hats off to him.
I'm biting my tongue right here.
Yeah, no, I'm doing a segue here, Pearcey. I'm saving you.
Bring me back.
So there was an interesting point with about 15 to go where Nicker gave England a penalty advantage, and I think it was what was perceived as a deliberate knockdown. And then across the comms, I think one of the ARs must have said, no, knock on only. So he's downgraded it to a knock on advantage only. And I think that caused a little bit of confusion.
Which is where, as someone who's watching at home, I'm keep on putting up the volume, trying to hear and trying to understand. I was confused on where that mark was, which makes sense on why they needed to clarify that with their team of three, or even,
And the commentators, of course, will talk over key refereeing decisions like that. And then
Which I never used to. I can remember the commentary teams back in the day. And I know I'm jumping aside here. Wasn't it great to see Clarkey commentating on the Drua game?
Yeah.
Who was, his usual polished self, as opposed to Nems, who wasn't.
Oh,
it was
funny. And he was struggling. It was really funny. He was struggling with the English names.
Oh my God! Yeah,
I,
exactly. It was.
I think he
hilarious.
dropped his. I think he must have dropped his sheet, and he
Yeah,
was trying to do it from memory. That's how it seemed, right?
Yeah,
So
he was very excitable. Back on this game, I think the Six Nations are not letting the referee have the airwaves like they have previously. It used to be that the referee they referred to as the third commentator because they were used as the live feed quite often, and the commentators were very clearly told don't talk over them. That's obviously not the case anymore.
And the great commentators know that silence is golden and you choose your moments to speak. Whereas I think a lot of these guys just think they're getting paid by the word.
Yeah.
And
I've got to say, I
Oh,
think
shit.
there are some referees who demand airtime, like Nigel. No commentator would dare talk over Nigel because you just don't know what you're going to miss. I don't know whether Nick has got that
Something
demanding
in a little tool
personality
belt.
about him. He is a little bit of background noise, which is one of his strengths, but it's also why he's getting talked over a fair bit because he doesn't demand the airtime. And Gus demands the airtime. His commentary of the game is actually quite exquisite in live play.
And it's clearly defined. So Nick is sort of stream of consciousness, whereas Gus is very message.
With a little entertainment value. I
Mhm.
guess that's what I'm saying too. Gussie's got a bit of personality. Nick is very, very clinical and he's exceptional. Like his read of the game is exceptional, but hasn't got that entertainment about it. And it may be a language conversion thing that he struggles to do that on the fly, but
I think it's just his personality.
yeah, it could be that too.
That's just who he is.
Haven't met
right?
the guy.
Yeah,
Very clean referee.
He loves his video games
He does
as well.
Serious gamer. Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe with just the captain interactions as well. I think the French players, Dupont and other people, were just getting very frustrated because they want to make the right decision for the team, but then things kept on changing. But I think, like you guys said, some work-ons there for him.
It was a great game, and what a finish to the tournament. We probably should have done it in the other order, the games, but congratulations, France. Can I say I picked them?
Yes.
Absolutely. As
there
did
you
I.
go. Bravo, guys. There's your little crowns.
Little crowns. So the ending for me was really interesting. They were really struggling to find the right mark, and it took a little bit of time, Candace. And I think this might be one you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
And for the kicker, that's hard because they're trying to make a decision about where I kick from, and it keeps moving. So to get their headspace set on where the mark is and get set up and kick the kick that defines the entire tournament, that is next level mental focus. And that is seriously impressive. It was a tough kick. And you don't get much more pressure than that, maybe winning a World Cup, right? And then to have the mark shifting on you constantly was really, really hard. And, oh, boy, what a way to end.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was impressive.
Do we want to discuss about how they got the penalty? The high tackle in particular?
There are some English fans who are arguing
Blowing
it's
up.
contentious. It's not contentious. Whacked him in the head, full stop, move on. Suck eggs, England.
I found it hard to see. There was a French player standing up in the ruck, and then I couldn't see
It was interesting. There wasn't much footage of it.
No.
Yeah.
And do you know why? Because Nika was in the way. He had the perfect view. He was actually standing in the way of the camera. So it's very, very
I
cut
think
and
my
dry.
angle, I had a French player in the way, but I see, obviously, the referee has
every
the best
angle
view in
that
the
I
house.
watched, every angle that I watched, I couldn't see it clearly, but I was looking around or through Nika or someone adjacent.
Yeah. Oh, through a body.
And his eyes are pointing at it. Nothing to see here, I reckon.
His
sour
arm
grapes.
went straight out. There was no indecision. As soon as that tackle was made, bang.
And as a referee, we've all been in that position. You don't want to give a penalty there, but if you're going to give one, it's going to be one that's, shit.
Obvious.
Yeah.
And my mindset with that was always, I never want the coach blaming me. I want the coach saying that was stupid player X. I don't even remember who it was now. It was one of the props, wasn't it?
I can't remember, but camera one was on the far side. So we had the ruck and the tackle players between us and Nika. Nika was, as you say, Pearcey, right in front of it. So that camera one didn't show it. And as soon as he put his arm out for a high tackle, I went, oh, okay, righto. Well, he's obviously Johnny on the spot.
Clear
Nothing to see.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. So move on.
Suck eggs, England.
There you go. Well, then you're going to suck on a wooden spoon or whatever the second to last. Anyway. Hey-ho. On to the next. Ireland versus Scotland.
Luke Pearce, no relation. He was great. He's
was.
such a good ref.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
so good.
He's a different refereeing package. I quite like it. He's nice and calm.
Really personable.
I can see that someone is, I presume that's you, sorry to be fussy, I heard him say, but it was the right time to be fussy. The game was actually starting to matter.
Yeah. This is where he was trying to get the right mark again for Finn Russell for the conversion. And you could see Finn's just rolling his eyes away from the referee.
Come on, mate, let me go. Come on. Finn Russell was absolutely magnificent, but getting frustrated with his team, you could tell.
Well, Ireland were just making sure Finn wasn't getting the ball and doing what he does best. So
yeah, and early in the game, he was getting the ball and doing what he does. He was magnificent.
There you go. But no, I think there's nothing really else to report in that game. I thought it was really well managed.
And Scotland clearly
future friend
just didn't turn up, unfortunately. They had been fantastic through the tournament, but just didn't finish it off and paid a price for it.
Did I vote for Scotland to win that one?
I can tell you.
I did.
I think I went with Ireland, and
I think
I wanted Scotland to win, but I said Ireland would.
No, we all went for Scotland.
Oh, wow, okay, there you go.
and we all went for Italy, and we all went for France. So until that last minute, we were all looking at 0 from 3.
Should we move on to the next one?
Yeah, congratulations, Wales. It's been a long time coming, and it has been trending upwards. And the
new energy.
The coaching box spoke volumes. They were pretty darn happy. There's a lot of tears and emotion in the coaching box there. So well done. I thought Christoph was great.
Yep. I think, wasn't he injured in the Prem? Then he came back.
Yep.
And then now, So it's nice that he's back running around like normal.
And the new Welsh 10 is tiny, but exceptional. Holy smokes.
I didn't see him, so.
He can kick.
No, the Italians didn't see him either, Candace.
Yeah, he can kick. He scored one and he kicked everything.
Is he the one that did that drop goal?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And
that was insane, by the way. I thought that was a really good use of doing a goal line dropout. You have your whole team set up
in front of you
and just whack it back. Maybe have all your kickers lined up perfectly.
And speaking of pure strikes, oh my Lord.
Wasn't it sweet?
Oh,
and then Christoph is in the perfect position because he's just run from the goal line.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yeah, no, it was. I really enjoyed it, and they were great. The Italians once again didn't load up for the game correctly. They got something wrong. Maybe it was not having the Ferrari out of the shed.
I can't help but think the Scottish and the Italians had a party last weekend, and the whiskey.
Oh, I would.
Menoncello got on the limoncello, and they were just quite not in it. I mean, they didn't score until the 50th minute.
Mate, that's too late.
Yeah, and at the field goal from the Welsh, they're leading 28-0, like taking the piss, really.
Yeah.
Good on it. It was brilliant. For me, the player of the match was the Welsh 16th man because the crowd bought into this royale. Yeah. They haven't had a lot to cheer about for a long time. They found their voice and they were giving it. It was so good. I can only imagine being there. The roof would have been lifting off. So
great.
It's fantastic. I just want to circle back to France. What was with that jersey?
It's polarizing, isn't it?
I love the jersey. It was the wrong time to wear it.
Well, it was celebrating 120 years of Le Crunch.
We had white and we had almost white pale blue. Like it was too similar.
Well, when I heard the French were going to wear it, because they announced this weeks ago, right? Because they had pre-sales of the jersey and all the jersey nerds were getting very, very hot and bothered by it in a positive way, which I understand because it's very similar to the Waratahs blue, just quietly. I assumed that the English would wear one of their alternate strips.
Yeah.
Their dark strip. No, not so much. So
none.
Heaven forbid if it had been a wet match. That would have been
disaster.
Would have been a real challenge.
Rob, look, you've been talking it up. Let's hit Stat Central.
One more thing. So really interesting one in the Wales-Italy game.
Oh, yes, actually, yes.
This is really interesting. So we had a situation where Wales lost a prop to injury, and injury is important as opposed to tactical injury. Then they lost another prop to the sin bin. So So if you think about how your law works, that means if there's a scrum in that window and the Welsh can't come up with someone who can play prop, they've got to go uncontested, which means they drop another player. The Italians could not come up with a way to get a scrum in that time, and they had some penalties. Now, if I'd been the Italians, I reckon at one of those penalties, I'm calling a scrum because that triggers the need for them to go down 2 players, not 1. And all of a sudden, you got a lot more space. I don't.
Mhm.
You might lose a bit on the penalty area. You don't kick to the line out, etc. But my goodness, you've got 8, 9, 10 minutes
overlap.
of extra 2 players.
Yeah,
So
and a
that's
couple of
just
those
game smarts.
opportunities presented themselves. And, I
They
was
did.
quite surprised.
Yeah, they did. And then we almost got there because there was a bit of a kerfuffle about how a ball had gone out, whether there was an option for a scrum line, whose throw it was. A little bit of chaos around that. They got there in the end. In the end, it wasn't Italy's choice, but my goodness, opportunity missed. I probably wouldn't have saved the game, but that's the sort of game management. In tight games, you've got to be on it because that's
That's an
rugby
opportunity there.
IQ.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hit us with some stats, brother.
Stats.
Okay. Stats.
What do we call the segment? We just yell stats?
Stats Central. Stats Central.
Stat Central.
Load me up.
There are multiple stats from this weekend. Firstly, I'm going to flick over to New York.
Yay.
Maddie Levi, the fastest to 250 tries by a country mile.
Well
She's
done.
only a whisker behind Portia Woodman-Wyckoff, and she'll catch her next tournament unless something dramatic happens, and then
And
only
she's got a
McKenna
lot of
breaks out
footy
of her.
left in her.
Oh, my goodness. Has she what?
So much.
Can we just dip our lid to Alex Johnson too? I really enjoyed that. Congratulations from Rugby League. That was a magnificent effort.
Oh, right,
All-time
yes.
tries
Try
record.
scoring record for Rugby League.
Oh, right. When they all
A good fella,
stormed
a good,
onto
humble
the
fella.
field.
Yeah. Everyone, including the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Let's go back to rugby.
So now we just have to do a little genuflect here. This is for Louis B. Barry. He's breaking statisticians' hearts in a good way. He scored 17 tries in his last 10 Six Nations appearances.
What?
That is elite by any measure. He has scored 29 tries in 27 tests. That's 1.07 tries per test.
Love it.
Will Jordan, who everyone holds as the benchmark, he's at 0.83, which is still pretty damn
That's still
good.
good.
Pretty good.
But LBB is next level. So in terms of current players, you've got him, you've got one of the Georgians and Will Jordan, but they're all in the 0.8s. And he's just getting better, LBB. It's great to watch. He is box office. Put him in the Louvre. It's fantastic. And he broke the Six Nations scoring record for most tries in a tournament. He scored 9.
Whose record did he break?
Let me see. Check data. Oh, his own from last year when he scored 8.
Yeah.
So
to finish off with a bag of 4, that's pretty impressive.
And only one other player scored 4 in Six Nations. I think that was Chris Ashton. So, he's just breaking.
And that was
records
against
right,
Italy
left,
on
and
a
centre.
bad day. This was against England.
Yeah, in a major game. And then one final stat, Six Nations stats. So in the Six Nations history, not Five Nations or predecessors, Six Nations, there have been 405 matches. Only 2 of those matches have had both teams score more than 40 points. And we had that in the last 2 weeks. So the final this week and Scotland-France last week.
And I did predict that France wouldn't give a shit about defence. They didn't. And it nearly bit them. They got their bonus point by a mile.
I think the jersey colour probably didn't help.
Yeah.
Again, it says to me the shape of the game is changing in the Six Nations as well.
Yeah, higher scoring matches, which also means something on how they're playing and how they're.
And they used to poo-poo us for
kicking,
that.
yeah.
But
We don't
that's the
tackle.
reality.
We don't tackle
Yeah.
in the Six Nation.
Yeah, so there you go. Take your pick.
Should we talk about some Super Rugby? It is clear the Waratahs and the Reds. Unfortunately, our Waratahs are missing Joseph. That
Yes,
13 channel is
Sue
going to be a problem.
Aliki.
It's going to be a problem for a while. Tristan Riley, great effort, but you are not a 13, and it showed your ability to distribute ball. You look like a winger playing 13.
He's played a bit of 13 in junior levels coming through the pathway, so he's not completely foreign to it.
If
Yes,
his
I think
coaches had taught him to pass, it would have helped.
Yeah, it's a valid point.
But look, we all know that 13 defence channel, it is really hard to read.
Correct.
And the Reds were clinical. They were pretty good.
Yeah, it was very good. I just seen highlights about the grounding of one of the tries that was disallowed.
Tristan's try, no try, yes. And again, we've seen Super Rugby Pacific come out post-match and say, sorry, guys, we got that wrong. It should have stood. So simple
it's like the angle
scenario.
of ball.
Ben's given the try. He's gone upstairs for a check.
If he was in touch. Yeah.
And Richard Kelly has very quickly, and clearly probably a little too quickly, said no try. It's hit the line. But later they reviewed it and gone, well, actually, it's hit the grass before it's hit the line. Should have stood. So there's a little bit of a process takeaway in the haste to keep the game flowing.
And that's where you've got an oval ball.
Yeah, oval ball.
Yeah.
Clearly the point of the oval, not point, but the thin part hits before the thick part.
And the interesting thing is we've had a couple of missives from Super Rugby now about decisions, good and bad. So it's a delicate dance.
I feel like that one was just breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe take the right time.
I also had a takeaway from that game. Did you notice that Ben gave a backchat penalty?
Yes.
Harry Wilson. When was the last? I was actually trying to think. When was the last time you saw a backchat penalty from a Super Rugby ref?
I think he gave two. I think he gave one each way, if I remember correctly.
I can't remember one. That, for me, is a bit of an indictment for Ben. I think that tells me that his headspace is not quite where it needs to be, which is
What were they saying?
shame.
Did anything overheard?
Can I say, who cares?
Okay.
At that level, you just ignore it. You don't let the players get to you. I was quite surprised. And I don't know what was said, but if it was that bad, perhaps it warranted something more. If it's not that bad, it's probably not worth dwelling on.
Well, to that point, Pearcey, we saw in the Sevens tournament a couple of tournaments ago, AJ gave one of the Kiwis a yellow card for giving him a gobful. So he went hard. If
it warrants dealing with, it warrants dealing with that way, not a go away, draw attention
and then
to
you
yourself.
just
Yeah. I don't know. I might be being harsh here, but I don't think that speaks of a good mindset for the referee, which is a shame. We all know I have a huge positive opinion of Ben's refereeing ability. I just made a note of that, and it didn't look like he was quite in the groove of the game. So thought it warranted mention.
Interesting take, Pearcey. Okay, well, that's a good point. Have a think about when you're on the field to all our community refs. If you're repeatedly blowing extra 10 for gobbing, maybe.
Escalation.
Well, maybe there's a couple of things there. You either escalate or you think about your own game connection, which is your point.
Yep.
So,
do we move on to the Moana Blues? Jimmy Dolman had that game. That was a tough game, and I thought Jimmy stood up. He's doing some really good stuff. A couple of really tight calls in it. Yeah, James had a red card that he gave a yellow on review, and I think it was very clear that he thought there was very little mitigation on that one. Very quickly gave the message back that it was on review a red card and it would stand for 20 minutes. I don't know whether you saw the one late in the game too. There was a yellow card. I think it was 72 minutes. I think it may end up being escalated to a red too, but given it was the 72nd minute, they didn't deal with it on the field. It's arguably a worse tackle from, I think, one of the Blues players. Can't remember.
High tackle, Pearcey, you're talking?
Yeah. He had a couple of big calls to make there. And did Beauden Barrett just shanking kicks left, right and centre.
He's back.
What is going on?
Back.
He got a couple late in the game, but that was cool. And there was a call for not the Moana team were awarded a try, but they went up to review, and it turned out the 12, I believe, who ended up catching a line-out overthrown was not back 10 metres. And that for me was a really good read of a line-out law. You are allowed to come inside the 10 metres if you're a back if the ball is thrown over 15 in anticipation of it being thrown over 15, but it wasn't thrown over 15. It was actually touched in the line-out, so he not being back 10, they were correctly ruled him offside. Unfortunately, they didn't correctly give the penalty in the right spot.
Where did they give the penalty?
Back where the 10 metres where they gave it near the line of touch. It was actually, I think they hedged their bets a little bit.
Yeah,
It was messy as hell. Like the Moana team thought they'd scored, and that was taken off them, and the Blues just wanted to play on. So I watched that game in full, just the way the weekend worked out. There was also a scrum where, did you see that one where the Moana team got a bit of a shove on, but then the Blues got back to parity, and Papa Lee was on the near side flank and just got up on his proper bit, at which point the Drua flanker got up and bound on him and held on to him. So we had a series of, that's arguably a penalty. That's definitely a penalty.
Four in the front row.
And Papa Lee couldn't get off the scrum to make a tackle from which the Moana team made a break, and I think scored. The try was disallowed,
Because of that or for other reasons?
For that reason, Papa Lee was
Ooh.
held and couldn't make the tackle. Unfortunately, because he couldn't make a proper tackle, he stuck his leg out and tried to trip the guy. So we had
lovely.
an escalation of penalisable, really penalisable. Shit, that's almost a sin bin. Papa Lee's team ended up with the Blues ended up with the penalty. I would have loved to have seen
That puts yourself
Jimmy
in a very
say to
difficult position.
Papa Lee that, hey, mate, you're going to get the penalty, but geez, you nearly went to the bin for a trip there. So one thing does not forgive another. It was a really interesting, like he had a lot going on in that game, Jimmy, and
Yeah.
he stayed up with the game. I was really impressed with it. It was actually quite an entertaining game to watch.
I'll have to take a look at that scrub where there's
have
all
a
those
look.
front rowers. I haven't seen that one.
It's quite an important thing as a referee, the trigger when the flankers come up and end up in the front row, because the law, if you recall, is they have to bind around a lock.
Yeah, 100%.
And they're definitely not binding around a lock when they're up on the front row. So
Hi.
it's definitely worth a look. We had Drua v Brumbies. Drua was sensational. The weather was incredible.
Okay, now that's the one I was thinking in my
my
head.
goodness.
Paul Williams had a game there, and that would have been tough because it was humid as hell. What was the name of that place that they took the game? I have been through Bar. Kiwis aren't allowed to go near Bar. Boom, boom.
Ba.
They get too excited.
Stinking hot. All of a sudden, we had a tropical cyclone go through. We had Clarkey on commentary with Nems just going bananas and losing grasp of the English language. And the Drua were just amazing. The Drua were way too good for the Brumbies. You could see the Brumbies, Ryan Lonergan got brought on thinking it's an easy win. All of a sudden, Steve Larkin went, come on, captain, get out there and fix this up. Couldn't fix it up. It was such a great performance from the Drua.
A trap for new players, and everyone seems to fall for it and keep doing it. People see the Drua game in Fiji as a chance to rest players, almost write it off, but it's a real risk.
Nope.
And we saw that again. The bench had more starters than normal, and it just didn't work. And the Drua, as you say, Pearcey, they were immense.
Yeah, and the Brumbies really missed that go forward from your Charlie Cales. And
yeah,
they didn't have that front football, and the weather was a huge part of that. The game plan turned to custard pretty quickly when the weather went off.
Can you imagine trying to catch a ball in that type of weather?
Well, the Fijians managed it okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they never had a problem with it.
No, one of their tries was, how did they actually do that? The flick off the ground, the catch off the ground, bang. So, yeah, that was an opportunity missed for the Brums.
I saw Crusaders Highlanders. Highlanders have got the most electric back three in the comp. In fact, back five. They just need more. They need more primary possession from scrums and lineouts to set them alight. It's not often that Will Jordan gets gassed, but he got gassed a couple of times from the blonde-haired winger. I can't remember his name, from the Highlanders. They are really good to watch. But Will Jordan's, on his return, also scored an amazing try. He actually beat 6 players solo to score a try. And I thought Geordie reffed that game really well. I'm going to call it the best I've seen Geordie Way ref. Really good, really in the groove of the game. So well done, mate.
Yeah, well done.
And the Force game, haven't seen that ref before. I didn't get in the commentary.
Todd Petrie.
Yeah, have we seen him before?
He's been ARing around.
Yeah, he's on the up. So yeah, he was busy on what I saw. He had some interesting things to deal with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So he'll be better for that run, I think.
Yeah, I think he'll take away a lot from that game, and
It was a forgettable weekend for the Australian teams. I think we only had one win, and that was Queensland beating New South Wales.
Yeah.
So by default, an Aussie team had to win. Yeah, it was a forgettable weekend for the Aussie football.
Mind you, the way that game was going into the last few minutes, it looked like it was going to be a draw. So
ended up running out.
Would have been appropriate, really.
Yeah. No, I thought it was an interesting weekend of Super Rugby, and unfortunately for the Aussie teams, the table's a couple of the teams are starting to lose ground there, and unfortunately for the Waratahs, I think by the time Joseph Akuso-Suali'i comes back, they may be out of contention unless they can turn that ship around.
They're sitting in 6th, and I reckon that's the spot they're fighting for, because I don't think they're going to get much higher than that. So they've got to make every post a winner to hold on to that, and even if they get 6th, they're going to end up playing someone they don't want to play away from home. So it's going to be hard.
It's a hard one.
New York.
New York. Some 7s. Exciting weekend. Looked like the players were mixing, not dealing with the cold of New York. I watched the finals. Kat Roach got one of the finals for the women's. So again, New Zealand versus Australia.
Something different.
Again, and unfortunately, New Zealand beating Australia.
Oh, mate, it was so close.
It was very close, and there's some really good footy there.
down to the wire. I think it was amazing.
A couple of massive high impact decisions towards the end. Really big calls.
And I'm yet to come to grips with my neutrality on there, whether I agree with it or not. A couple of them, because they went against the Aussie girls. Georgia Miller in particular, I still don't think I'm okay with it, but I'm not comfortable that I'm neutral enough to call it. I'd be interested in some neutral commentary from a non-Aussie, non-Kiwi.
Yeah. You're looking around trying to find.
Yeah, there's none around.
Where are they?
But the Aussie girls were epic again, and we've already spoken about Maddie Levi. What a weapon!
Again, she's doing really good try-saving tackles.
Yeah.
Where it was almost about to go, and then it was called short, and then someone just obviously the try line is right there, just like. Bloop.
And the Aussie man, they're there or thereabouts. They just can't quite get up in that last.
Oh no, they're getting better.
They're very close. Hopefully, some reward pays soon for them.
I think they finished third overall.
Yeah, we beat. Was it Argentina we beat in the 3-4 playoff?
No, we didn't beat them. Yeah, we played Argentina, but we didn't beat them. I think we got
fourth. Yeah,
we got fourth in the tournament, but third in the
standings.
In the standings,
they've been consistent, that's for sure.
Yeah. So third in the standings in that caliber is actually pretty good. We're finished ahead of New Zealand, France, Argentina, Spain, and Great Britain. That's a pretty good effort. So,
keep going, guys.
And now we move into the championship phase where another 4 teams come in. So that gets spicy. So
wanted to highlight the referee for the men's final was Peter Martin. Peter Martin.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, Peter.
Yes, bravo.
Yeah, and that was South Africa versus Fiji.
And the Blitzbox won.
Yes, that is
Fiji
correct.
have been strong.
Yeah, winner take all in the final because they went into the tournament equal on points. So, and it turned out the top 2 teams ended up in the final, which means you're probably getting it right with your format. And yeah, South Africa snuck home.
Well done.
The South Africans need more humility. And that will bring it, I'm sure.
It's never been something strong with the South Africans.
I'm telling you, we've got the 4 World Cups. Did you know?
Yes, we've watched them all. Australia's got 2, but apparently one of them doesn't count because the South Africans were there. So it wasn't a real World Cup.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Touching points.
There's a rabbit hole.
I'm going to
let's move on.
Quickly swift on. Everyone, this week's golden whistle is Amy Barrett-Theon. And then she takes home the referee of the year, which is, believe it or not, the 4th time she's taken this award through South Africa Rugby Awards. So yeah, I love the dedication that she has to the game. And
stay in there, Amy. Well done.
Yeah, stay in there, and excited to see where she goes with the Six Nations and more appointments coming up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I love it. And I'm excited for the W6N. It'll be great.
Yes,
looking
absolutely.
forward to it.
Which is... Yeah, give it a few more weeks, guys. And then we'll also be covering that as well. So I'm, looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Do we want to do a quick law of the week, or we sort of covered a few already?
I think we covered a few. For me, I thought the scrum one was interesting with the front rower coming up, but the line-out one not being starting inside the 10 for a throw over the top, I thought that was good. That's law 19, I believe.
Yeah. And I brought my law, which was a touch law, which is 18.2b, for that French player who, started outside the field of play, caught it, and then landed inside. And played away.
Beautiful.
Very good. Beautiful.
So did we land on a law of the week? Which one are we going with?
All right.
Or are we going to go with the Reds and Tars one?
Candace's touch one. I think that's a great one.
All right. No worries. That's a law of the week. And last week's law of the week inspired a little bit of chat, which was good too. So thank you for the engagement from our viewers, one of whom is on the Super Rugby panel. So well done. Thank you.
Excellent.
Very good.
We
Keep
like
that coming, folks.
Yes.
Yeah. We love a bit of chat about laws, as we do.
I didn't tell you what my highlight of the Mudgee was. MDL running around or waddling around. It was great.
Oh, that'll get back. So is he more or less of a waddler than you, Pearcey?
He wasn't waddling as much as me, but I think I've got 20 years on him. So, I've got an excuse.
Yeah, that's probably about right.
Be about right. Not quite.
Yeah, not quite. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. If Mitch is waddling around at 50, I'll be suitably impressed. Well done, team. No footy for me this weekend. Young fella's got 2 cricket grand finals.
So very good. Well, good luck to him.
Candace, you'll have your weekend off. Some micro tear issues.
Yep.
Manage that well, please. Rob, what do you got on?
Cold therapy.
I'm not sure if I'm on the whistle. There is a Super Saturday at Rat Park, so that's a Australian Rugby Championship and a few other things. So there's a mod session up there. So I'm not sure where I'm going yet. So we'll see how that goes. I'll be at a rugby ground somewhere. The young bloke played his first grade game for his new club last week, so that was good. Scored on debut against the Rats, which is
Which
nice.
new club?
Well done.
He's gone back to his junior club, Norths, after a
to the
few
Shoremen.
seasons at Manly. Yeah, back to
Beautiful.
the Shoremen. Walks down the hill to training,
Beautiful. Great
which is
spot.
kind of nice.
So
yeah.
easy.
Playing with some of his
Too bad
pathway
after
mates.
the training having to walk up. Would've
Yeah,
liked it
that
the other
is
way around.
very true. Yeah, it's about an 80-metre vertical. So yeah, it's
Work
not
the
a-
glutes. You should
Suck
walk
it up.
backwards. It's good for
Suck it
your
up.
Yes.
knee recovery.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Rob, I thought we were pretty shit today. Not as much preparation as what we needed, but fortunately, Candace carried us again. Thank you, Candace. You're wonderful as ever.
Thank you, guys.
She's known as
Too
Candace the
sweet.
Carrier. There
Candace
you
the
go.
carrier.
I don't know whether we can call her that, can we?
Oh.
You started it.
New nickname. I love it. Thank you all again for listening. You can find us on YouTube as well. Really excited. We're going to be having a guest on as well. I don't know if we can tease anything here and now. Nope, we're not doing it. Cool. Thank you all for listening, and see you again next week.
Jouer.